Howdy, Havasu Insurance fans. My name is Harold Sharp, and I'm with Havasu Insurance. Right now, we're going to talk about using a different address. This is a form of misrepresentation, but all people from all walks of life have that friend or family member that seem to say, hey, I know someone's address you can use, and go ahead and get your insurance there, and you'll save 50 bucks. So let's go ahead and talk about the rabbit hole. Here's what happens when you try and use someone else's address. There's a few things that happen. First thing that happens is the insurance company already knows you don't live there. So when you go ahead and use a friend or family member's address, it already pops up with your regular address somewhere else. Typically speaking, on an average day, we get 7 phone calls from people, generally from the California area, who've gone on to Facebook and their friends talking about using a different address. And you can see you can use my address or my Aunt Matilda's address or whatever. You don't want to do it, because here's what happens. First thing that happens is you register your vehicle in Arizona. Then what happens about 2 months later is they find out you don't have insurance. And the reason they find out you don't have insurance is because the insurance company did a little small investigation after you bought the insurance through someone like myself, if it got by me. And I'm not saying that I'm the gatekeeper, I'm saying I generally try and help people stop themselves from making the mistake. However, if it does get by me, the insurance company goes ahead and cancels their policy, and then that registration they paid for a year, you really think Arizona's going to send you the rest of the money back? No, they just cancel your registration. Not a great thing to have happen when you didn't get to save your 50 bucks, because now you get to try and re-register the vehicle. We'll just say in California, where you actually do live, and then you're paying that money all over again. So you didn't get to save your 50 bucks or $100 or whatever you thought you were going to save. And then they tell you, but I got to do it, or what have you. Well, maybe they got away with it. Who knows? But did they really get away with it? Because we're going to go down the rabbit hole a little deeper. So let's say you have a claim. Okay, and then let's say that claim is a large number claim, like over $10,000. And that's not a lot. That's not a lot. That's just a little amount. And the attorneys for the insurance company investigate and find out you never did live there. And they find out you did what's called misrepresentation on your insurance application. That's cause for them to not even give you any check or pay for that insurance. That's not a good thing to have. So you bought insurance only to find out you're not getting insurance because you misrepresented yourself. Not a good idea. Let's go down the rabbit hole a little farther. Let's say they did pay the claim out. And let's say they found out 6 months, a year later, or whatever time frame later, that you never lived there and you misrepresented yourself. And yes, they do look after the fact. They have people that do that. Now, instead of, and they already paid the claim out. Let's just say you hurt somebody and they paid the claim out. Well, now they're going to sue you because you misrepresented yourself on that application. And they're going to win. They have attorneys for this all day long. So it's a bad rabbit hole to use someone else's address, misrepresent yourself on the insurance forms, even though you're not filling out a form. When you're giving your information to an insurance agent like myself, if you're giving the wrong address, you're misrepresenting yourself. And at some point, you're going to sign an application. That application has your address on it. Don't misrepresent yourself. Don't use your buddy Tim's address. Don't use your mom's address. Use the address where you really live. Register the car in the state that you live in. Insure it in that state. It's the best thing you can do. Now, some people own a home here as a second home. That's a different story. And so if that's the case and you actually own a home and you pay the utilities here, and you leave a vehicle here, and you fly in here from Missouri or some other state, that's a different story. That's leaving a vehicle here. When you fly into town, you use that vehicle, it's parked your garage, you're at your address. You're paying the utilities. You're not using someone else's address. You're using a second home address. That you can do, but don't try to use another person's address. I want to tell you about one other thing. When you use someone else's address and you try to get insurance rates at that person's address, here's what's going to happen. All the parties that use that address, including you, are going to get lumped into insurance rates when people renew at that time. So let's say you have a bad insurance score, or you have claims, tickets, accidents, or whatever, and you try and use that address. The other people in that home, their insurance rates are going to go up for no other reason but the reason that you use that address, and vice versa. If they've got claims, tickets, and accidents, and you try to insure your vehicle there, your insurance score diminishes as well, and your rates are going to go up as well. There's a lot of reasons not to do it. One, it's just wrong. Two, in my opinion, it's borderline insurance fraud. You're committing a crime, and you just don't want to do it. Just insure the vehicle where you live. Don't think that your buddy's right. He's not. I'm an insurance agent. And by the way, if it was okay to do this, I'd love to just write those 7 people a day and put them in an insurance policy. It's just not right. Don't do it. I'm Harold from Havasu Insurance. I made this video for one reason. I made it so that I could explain it to people in a video and send it to them in a text, so I don't have to spend 8 minutes trying to explain it to them on the phone. And I really don't like making this video, but at the same time, if I didn't get the 7 calls a day, I wouldn't have even bothered to make it. Have a great day, and again, do the right thing. Get insured where you live.